Just making sure everyone can get in. Okay, I think we are good to go when you're ready.
Yes, we just started webinar.
Terrific. Hello, all applicants for joining us for a virtual session today. We see a couple of you trickling in now. We'll go ahead and get started in about 2 or 3 minutes or so to let some latecomers kind of follow in as well. Thank you for attending us today. We'll be with you shortly. We will be getting started in just a few minutes here. We're just letting a couple of people who are coming a little bit later fall into the Zoom before we get started. Thank you for your patience.
You are all having a good Friday evening. It may already be the next day where you're joining us. Thank you for your time today.
All right, it is 4:33 here in Fremont, California. So I'll go ahead and get us started. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. My name is Quincy Williams, and I'm going to be navigating you through today's virtual session, which will be all about understanding your tuition, fees, and financial aid. Before we get into specifics about finances here at SFU, I want to just introduce some individuals who are going to be assisting me today, most of which are going to be enrollment counselors, and then we have a university Broussard as well. I would like each of them to kind of just introduce themselves and their position really briefly. Let's go ahead and get started with Zara, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
Sure, thank you, Quincy. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Zara Soltani, and I'm a graduate enrollment counselor. I have been with SFPU since May 2021. I came here as an international student and worked in admission office since about 4 years ago, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and introduce Dr. Lisa.
Thank you, Quincy. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lisa, and I'm an undergraduate enrollment counselor with our team, and we're looking forward to sharing with you information and answering your questions. I've been with SFBU since last summer.
I'll go ahead and throw it over to Darren now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darren Jones. I'm one of the graduate enrollment counselors here at SFBU. This will be my 8th month here. I'm glad everyone here to see our info session today.
And now hand it over to Keith.
Hi, my name is Keith Shepard. I'm the undergraduate transfer enrollment counselor here at San Francisco Bay University, and I've been with the school since April of 2024.
Awesome. And last but not least, our University Broussard, Edie, if you'd like to share.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Edie Millette, and I am the bursar here at SFBU. And I hope this webinar is informative for you.
Awesome. And that's going to be our enrollment team who's going to be helping us throughout today's virtual session. I'd like to make a note that if you have any questions for us, feel free to include them in the chat or the Q&A section, and one of our enrollment counselors will be able to get to you very shortly. Normally, when we begin virtual sessions, we like to ask people where they're at, but we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a change today. because tuition cost is going to vary for undergraduate and graduate applicants, I want to get a sense into how many undergrads and how many graduate applicants we have with us today. So go ahead and scan this QR code here. I'll go ahead and pull this slide up. The QR code is in the bottom left corner still. Just go ahead and scan that real quick. I want to get a sense into how many undergrads and graduates we have, because when it comes to tuition here, there's a little bit of variation. So I kind of want to get a sense into who we have today with us. If the QR code is not working for any reason, you're also more than welcome to just include, if you're an undergrad or grad, in the chat, whatever method works best for you. Like if we refresh the page, let's go ahead and do that real quick.
Oh, or actually, I can share the live page with the results if you'd like.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just go ahead and share my screen with the results coming in. Let's see here. I'm just gonna make it a little bit larger.
Whoa, okay. 6 graduates, 1 undergraduate. So we're seeing a little bit of a trend here. All right, looks like we got ourselves a good handful of graduate students today, 1 undergraduate. That's all right. We'll give it just 1 more minute and then we'll kind of continue on with the slides. Thank you guys for your responses. This is going to help in sharing specific information to those who are undergrads and grads about what expected costs are going to look like for you here at SFBU. There we go. We got another undergrad here with us today.
Good to see some familiar names. You might have been in contact with us or emailing your questions. So yeah, feel free to.
All right, let's go ahead and continue with the slides. So it looks like we have a lot of graduate students today, but let's go ahead and start with our undergraduate costs. So here at SFBU, one of our main values here is all about providing affordable education to all applicants. We're a small private institution located in Fremont, California, and so we take great pride in the fact that on average, we are $31,000 more affordable in comparison to other private liberal arts schools. And we're also among the lowest and most affordable tuition in the state for non-impact STEM programs, courses sizes of 20 students. As we kind of go through our estimated costs for undergrad and grad, you'll notice that there's going to be a lot of similarities. For example, our student on-campus housing, you'll see that it's going to be $4,000 per semester, totaling $8,000 per year. And I'll go into a little bit brief specifics about campus housing and health insurance a little bit later, but these are also some of the indirect costs. You'll see supplies are going to be about $400 per semester, health insurance, $600 per semester. And then off-campus living expenses is an important one because we know that some applicants will be looking to rent places within the area. And so we also like to be transparent about what sort of off-campus living expenses you'd be expected to pay. But the main distinction that I want to bring to your attention when it comes to undergrad versus graduate estimated costs is undergraduates, you will be starting in fall 2025 paying on a flat rate method. Now, what is a flat rate method? And the undergrad team can most certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but to be a full-time enrolled student undergrad at SFBU, you are to take 15 credits. So 5 classes equating to 3 units. That's what a full-time student undergrad is here at SFBU. And so if you take 15 credits with us, because our programs are 120 credits long, you'll be expected to graduate at the end of 4 years. And so if you take 15 credits, this is the amount that you'll be expected to pay each semester, 5,405. If you take 12 credit units, this is the number that you'll be expected to pay. 18 credit units, this is the number you'll be expected to pay. So this flat rate process really is a way of incentivizing you undergraduate students to graduate in a timely manner of 4 years, but to also maybe even take on an additional course or so if it works for you, because it's going to eventually serve as a money saver because you're not being charged on the credit. This is a flat rate. And so no matter how many classes you take, that's the amount that you'll be expected to pay. And so that's the biggest distinction when it comes to your undergraduate costs, is this flat rate process. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit now about your undergraduate tuition scholarships. To be admitted as an undergraduate student here at SFBU, you need to show a CGPA of 2.0 or higher. So that's what these scholarships sort of entail. If you obtain a GPA that's 2.0 or higher, you're going to obtain some kind of scholarship with a certain percentage based on where you lie on these CGPA bands. Now, I want to bring something to your attention that is going to be also new for fall 2025 that the institution is sort of leaning towards. So previously, we've been mentioning to you students, undergrads and grads, that the scholarships that you are being awarded is a tuition-based scholarship. And this is because previously, we would separate the tuitions and the fees together. But because now we're approaching a flat rate process, the tuitions and fees are coming together as one particular cost. And so because of this, starting fall 2025, the direction is that your scholarships are going to be covering not just the tuitions, but those fees of $455 per semester. So even though the percentages of your scholarships are going to change, starting fall 2025, the university is heading in a direction to where it's expected to cover both the tuition and the fees. So that's a very exciting factor that the university is leaning towards, because it's a further enhancer into how we demonstrate this approach in providing affordable education to students at San Francisco Bay University. As you can see, 2.0 to 4.0 is our GPA bands. And you'll notice for your graduates, if you're not familiar already, it's going to focus more on this section, but we'll get to that in just a second. Now we'll kind of dabble into a little bit of the graduate estimated costs of attendance. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the costs are the same. Your on-campus housing is $4,000 as a grad student, supplies the same, health insurance the same. Everything's essentially the same. The only exception is for grad costs, it's not a flat rate. It's still going to be based on a credit per credit process. And so we have these estimated costs here of $4,505, along the lines to follow similarly to the fact that as a full-time student, you'll be expected to take 9 unit credits per semester, because most programs at San Francisco Bay University are 36 units. And so the expected duration of your graduate program is going to be 2 years. So regardless of if you take 9 credits, 12 credits, you will be paying based on a credit per credit basis for the graduate programs. Your graduate tuition scholarships are also a little bit different, because the graduate programs at San Francisco Bay University are a little bit more rigorous because they are graduate programs. And so we are expecting students who are interested in pursuing a degree at San Francisco Bay University to demonstrate a CGPA of 3.0 or higher. But the good news is, if you're admitted into San Francisco Bay University, then you're essentially guaranteed at least a 50% scholarship on your tuition and fees starting fall 2025. So this is a really, really great tuition package to have if you're admitted into the university campus. And we take great pride in that, because to get 50% off your tuition, that's a big expense taken off your plate. So you can focus that more on attention towards potentially your housing, food, transportation, you name it, instead of having to pay that additional cost towards just your tuition. Now, this is a little bit of a new implementation for San Francisco Bay University, and we want to talk a little bit about the whole processes behind our award letters. And the whole basis of our award letter is really twofold, one of which focuses more for you international students, because we've heard your comments, your questions about scholarships not being listed on your I-20 forms. And as this is not a presentation regarding your I-20 forms, I just want to reiterate one time that, again, your scholarships not being included on the I-20 form is because that the scholarship that you're awarded is a tuition-based scholarship and has no cash value until you arrive into the United States. And so an alternative method that the university is working diligently to have to demonstrate that you have this scholarship in hand is this financial aid award letter. And previously, we would send out these award letters to each individual, and sometimes, we get a lot of applicants, and the process takes a little while to get that award letter. But now we've come up with a method to where once you're admitted into the university, if you log into your applicant portal, not only will you see your decision letter as per usual, but you'll also see that you will be able to view your financial aid award letter. And so what that might look like for you, if you log into your applicant portal and you click on this link here, it'll take you to what a sample award letter should look like. So this is a very generic version of what the award is going to look like. As you can see, it's going to clearly show the scholarship that you earned and how much it is for each semester and the total estimated scholarship that you're going to get. But another main factor into why we like these award letters so much is because we do get a lot of questions regarding how much should I be expected to pay with blank and blank scholarship, whether it be a 20% scholarship or a 50%, 75% scholarship. And doing that math sometimes might be tedious, but with this financial aid award letter, it's going to detail every single direct cost and indirect cost, as you saw in the previous slides, housing information, and then at the very bottom here on this financial aid award letter, it's going to show what you're expected to pay with account to your scholarship awarded. So it's going to give you an even clearer understanding into what you should be expected to pay on an annual basis with this sample award letter. So this is an implementation that we're very happy about, and we're looking forward to you using this as a means of getting greater clarity into how you're going to be, preparing yourself financially when you join us at San Francisco Bay University. I'll go ahead and talk very briefly about this next step, and this is for you international students out there, because with the question regarding scholarship not being included on the I-20 form, a big, big, big necessity for you when you're attending visa appointments is making sure that you not only have this award letter on hand, but you also bring with you your financial support documents. Those are very vital for you to have on hand, and it demonstrates that you have the funds to support your time at San Francisco Bay University. So what I'll go ahead and do is, if one of the panelists here would mind having the links brought into the chat, so you guys will have access to those links. These are going to be very useful tips for you as you're preparing for your visa appointments. So just to briefly go through the steps, you're going to review and sign your I-20 form. That's going to be sent to you through Adobe, through our DSO. You'll get to learn a little bit more about our visa tips through this link here, and how to fill out the S-160 form for your student visa. And you'll also reply to email with your visa interview date and confirmation. It's absolutely vital that you keep in constant communication with us, especially as deadlines is approaching. We want to be able to assist you in accordance with when you should be expected to attend your visa interview. So long as you keep that communication with us, we can continue to support you as you're approaching that upcoming visa appointment. And so you'll want to bring what with you? You want to bring your decision and your offer letter from your mission portal with the scholarship award. And as mentioned earlier, your financial support documents and the sponsor letter if your financial documents are not under your name. You'll also want to bring with you your completed and signed I-20 form and award letter. And you're also welcome to review tips for your upcoming visa interview through this link here if it's provided in the chat. All right, That was a good handful. I appreciate you all hanging in there and working with us as we're trying to best navigate you through our finances and the visa tips. I kind of want to get a sense into how you guys are feeling right now. I know these are, exciting times for you. Maybe some of you are feeling nervous and focused to learn, maybe ready to grow or meet new people as you're preparing to join us at San Francisco State University. You can go ahead and put in the chat an emoji or or a feeling that you're kind of going through right now as you're preparing to join us at San Francisco State University. So I'll let you guys take a second to kind of just input your answers in the chat, just to give us a little bit of a check into how your guys are doing. We got someone who's very focused on learning. That's good. Very nice. Someone's feeling pretty cool in the chat. I love it.
If you
Ready to
want, you can
grow.
also share in the chat what time is it in your country right now.
Sure. What time it is, where you're joining us from, whatever you want
Yeah.
to share where you're from. Go ahead.
Yeah, so feel free to share your emojis in the chat, where you're from, what time it is, and just for reference, the links are in there for the guides mentioned earlier on I-20 visa information and also external scholarships. So some may be asking about, say you had a 75% scholarship, you're looking at the 25% gap left over. That would be covered by funds indicated for international students. And then there's also the opportunity for external scholarships that will cover that tuition gap as well. And we also have some payment plans, which we'll chat more about in a bit.
I see 5:50 a.m. in Bangladesh.
Yeah, thank you for joining us in Nigeria at 12:55 a.m. We appreciate you spending your time with us.
Looks like we got someone who's ready to grow. We love to see it. All right, we'll go ahead. 4:52 Pakistan, 11:55 Gambia. Wow. So we got a lot of
You all.
early birds in the chat today. It's very nice to have you here with us today. All right. So to move forward from our fun Zoom vibe check, I want to go into a little bit more in depth into what students should be expected to pay annually, because it's an important question. You kind of want to get a sense into what expected costs are going to be. And this is going to be outlined in that financial award letter we demonstrated earlier, but I'm going to provide you with two examples, one from the undergraduate perspective and the other from the graduate perspective, just so you both kind of get a sense into what expected costs are going to be. So say you're an undergraduate joining us today and you've obtained a 3.8 CGPA. That makes you eligible for our 75% tuition scholarship. So what does that look like? So we'll kind of go down the list similarly to what was demonstrated before. Our full tuition for the undergraduate is going to be $9,900 per year or $4,950 per semester. The student fees are going to be $910 per year and $455 per semester. And the reason why I'm joining these two together is because with the potential direction that the university is taking to join together the tuition and the student fees in your tuition scholarship, we're going to combine these two costs, as you've seen previously, and take away the 75% as if you were getting a 75% scholarship. So with the tuition and the fees being covered with the 75% scholarship, this is how much you're expected to pay per year, $2,702 per year, or $1,351.25 per semester. That for tuition and fees just gets me so excited because that's just a cost that you will not run into very frequently. We're very happy with this amount, particularly for tuitions and fees, because it is a big burden on students nowadays. And so the fact that if you were to obtain this kind of scholarship, you would have to pay a mere couple $1,000s per year for your tuitions and fees as an undergraduate student. And then those additional costs, I'll go and talk about health insurance and student housing briefly in just a second. But for health insurance, it would be $1,200 per year. And then student housing being an optional route that you can pursue would be $8,000 per year. So what does that look like? So I've put together 3 different examples of what estimated costs would look like, just to see where you might fit. If you're someone who is looking to join our SFBU housing plan, your total estimated cost per year is going to come down to just a little bit under $12,000. For annual cost of living, if you're choosing to potentially rent a place nearby the area and pursue off-campus housing, then if you're going to, rent is going to fluctuate per situation, but we're estimating that cost to be around $22,200 with off-campus housing. And then this amount here is for individuals who may be domestic and maybe they're located near the area, or maybe you know someone in the area who has a place and you're going to be staying with them and you won't have to worry about rent. The total estimated cost then, since you're subtracting the housing cost, is going to be just a little under just a little under $4,000. So kind of where you envision yourself, in particular when it comes to housing, because housing is a pretty important factor to take into consideration when thinking finances. These are the 3 sort of costs that you'll want to keep in mind as you're planning your undergraduate journey here with us. We'll go ahead and shift to the graduate perspective. And again, this is going to vary just a little bit, not too much, but because the graduate costs are going to be on a credit per credit basis, we're going to focus on if a student is just full-time taking the 3 classes for 9 credits per semester at $450 per credit with a 75% tuition scholarship. So you can do the math, but I've done it for you here. 450 times 9 is $4,050 per semester. 2 semesters is $8,100 per year. If we add the student fees, it's the same thing for undergraduate, $910 per year, $455 per semester. So if we, like we did previously, combine the tuitions and the fees after your 75% scholarship, you'll be, as a graduate student, expected to pay $2,252.50 per year, or just a little above $1,000 per semester. So somewhat similar, not quite the same, but you kind of get the picture here at SFBU. We're wanting to provide an affordable education, so your tuitions and fees are going to come down to varying costs. For health insurance and student housing, it's going to be the same as if you're an undergraduate student. And so again, these are the 3 sort of situations that you might find yourself, whether you're choosing to join SFBU housing, it'll be about $11,400. For off-campus housing, if you're looking to rent a place within the area, it'll be $21,700. And for if you're not even considering or looking into renting a place and maybe finding someone, or you're currently living in the area, about $3,452. And I'll go ahead and reiterate that these are estimated annual costs. They're not exact. They're going to change per situation. And so if the amounts aren't exactly the same, it is going to vary because we can't give you an exact approximation, exact value to what housing is going to look like. So these values are going to be similar, but it's not going to be an exact dollar amount. Some additional notes. So this is where I'll kind of talk briefly into the insurance and the housing at San Francisco Bay University. So if you're a domestic applicant joining us today, if you currently are on an insurance plan, you are welcome to waive the health insurance that San Francisco Bay University provides, so long as you are able to provide proof of coverage before your start term begins. For international students, you will be automatically enrolled in our health insurance plan, and they are currently developing a plan for fall 2025. Student housing, it's optional and based on availability. I will mention that we do actually have an upcoming virtual session that's going to be specifically about housing, so I won't dive too much into it, but I'll go ahead and share with you a little bit of information at the end of the session where you can register for that event. And then another common question we get is, do I have to pay my tuition upfront? And the answer is no. Payment plans are available, and those costs can be split over 3 months per semester. And now I would very much love to talk about those payment plans, but we actually have someone joining us today who I think is much better suited to talk about those. So with that being said, I'm going to have our university's Bruce Czar, Edie, kind of talk a little bit about those. those payment plans, as well as some scholarship tools that you can use as you're looking to further enhance your financial situation at SFBU. I'll have Edie take it from here.
Thank you, Quincy. So yes, scholarships and what you have to pay are a very large part of college. Without that, you are not going to be able to attend. It's very important information for you to have as a student, for your parents, for relatives to have if they are helping to support you. So the estimated plan, which I really appreciate how Quincy broke that down, it helps for undergrads because the fee is included with tuition. For our graduate students, you don't have quite as many units that you are required to enroll in. So they both have advantages. We want to be fair to our students. To get into the slide we have here before us, this is a payment plan and it's an estimate. And it's just based on, let me just get a larger view of that here. A little bit small for me. Hold on just a sec. Oh, I'm bringing it up on my screen too. Thank you though.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, you have tuition, you have housing, your tuition and fees, and the estimate for fall would be $9,405. So you want to have a payment plan that, we've broken it down into 4. It's going to be broken down into 3 payments if you opt for that. If you're able to and you can pay the full amount up front, that's great. But sometimes, we need a little bit of help. And we want to say the first payment is due when you enroll. So during that first week, say you come in on the first day of classes, which is August 18th, you do need to make the first payment for the fall semester during that week. It can be the first day. It can be all the way until that Friday or Saturday, because you may be adjusting your classes. So they may not be completely worked out yet. But by the end of that first week, you should either pay exactly what the tuition is for the fall semester, or if you're opting for the payment plan, you need to make the first payment. Now, this is, of course, taking into consideration that you may have a scholarship that's taking care of part of that. So that's how your tuition is being paid. If you can still get a payment plan with a scholarship, or again, you can opt to pay the full amount. So just to keep on going through the slide, this payment plan that's listed is an estimate, and it's just based on the amounts that we have for a student that may not reflect what's going on with your individual award letter. It doesn't include any scholarships or grants or anything that you've qualified for or receiving. Sometimes students have scholarships from outside sources, and that's okay. So the actual costs may differ. One note, if you think you might be late on the second, third payment, not the first one, if you think you might be late, please let the bursar's office know. Please let us know. The first payment, you need to make that because that's what your registration is dependent on. So yeah, definitely let us know if you're going to be late. You can go to, yeah, thank you.
Of course.
So for those outside scholarships, if you think you want to apply for additional funds, there are scholarships available. And on our website, sfbu.edu, if you navigate to tuition and scholarships and go to the bottom of the page, there is an interactive scholarship tool. And if you click that, there are just many scholarships that you may be able to qualify for, but you do have to do the work in applying. There's different types of scholarships. Some are from individual companies, some are from individual organizations, but you do need to find one or two or more that you would be eligible for. Not all of them are based on grades. Some of them are based on how you support your community, what volunteer work you've done. They're looking for different things. So be sure to check that out. There's a lot of good information in there. There's some that are local, meaning local in a global sense, meaning they are for students from a certain area. They are not just for students from the United States. They're good for students from many different countries and many different backgrounds. So if you have any questions about that, put them in the chat. Remember that each scholarship, each award letter, is individual. Yours may be different from your friend's award letter. In fact, 99% of them are. Even relatives, they're all different because we all have different abilities and we all have different interests. So yeah, Quincy, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful insights as usual, Edie. I'll go ahead and highlight some key resources for your learning journey, as well as program benefits and resources for students and families. So this is going to add a little bit more to what makes us such a wonderful option when it comes to affordable education, because one of those options that you are going to be granted if you join San Francisco Bay University is a free bus transportation for all SFPU students in the county. This is our AC Transit's Easy Pass program. This is going to be a valuable resource to you if you're looking to get some sort of transportation need covered. It can be used to go around Fremont area, explore the area. If you simply just need a bus pass to get you to and from campus, this is something that I would very much recommend if you're someone who wants to have those transportation needs covered. Also, starting fall 2025, as many of you may be well aware of, we are going to be covering your textbooks 100% for SFBU students fall 2025. Just another burden off your shoulders, and you could focus your financial package more towards those other costs, particularly housing, those other indirect costs that we mentioned earlier. So we're very excited to be implementing those starting, the Easy Pass has been going on for a while now, but the book coverage is something we're looking forward to having that being covered for you starting fall 2025. And this is somewhat indirectly related to the finances as we've been talking about, but I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about finances in the context of what financial situation you're looking to have as you graduate San Francisco Bay University, because thinking about how you're paying for your college education is important, but how that degree is going to benefit you financially after graduation, I think is just as valuable to learn. So just a little bit context into what makes SFBU a standout university when it comes to that respect. It's a premier university in the heart of Silicon Valley. As many of you may be well aware of, we love to advocate for being a member of the Silicon Valley with various companies that you are probably well knowledgeable of, and we'll go into those a little bit sooner, that we just like to surround ourselves with because we're big on technology and business. And so if you're someone who's interested in those sectors and gaining exposure to building connections and networking with individuals within these respective industries, this is going to be the place to get you that step in preparation for the career that you're looking for after San Francisco Bay University. The San Francisco Bay Area does contain the highest concentration of tech career opportunities than anywhere else in the world. And so we like to think that we are setting you up for success as you approach graduating here at San Francisco Bay University. And to kind of go into a little bit more specifics regarding how that may look like, we have here a 2023-2024 job placements result. And this is going to kind of show off how our graduates kind of went about their lives after graduating from San Francisco Bay University for the years 2023 to 2024. And so from an institutional overview, within 6 months of graduating, we had 70 individuals for 2023-2024 be employed, 1% volunteer, 1% continuing education, and then 28% still seeking employment. So we're very happy with 70% of people looking to having found some sort of position after graduating San Francisco Bay University, landing jobs in top companies across tech, finance, manufacturing, and we're looking to grow that number even higher in the years to come. And a big factor that I will probably advise, as it's probably important for you to know, as one of our values here at San Francisco Bay University, is to cultivate the whole student, the whole student, because the student aspect, the academics are very important with your undergraduate and graduate experience, but we want to cultivate the whole student, and that involves not just the academics person of you, but the person that you want to become after you graduate, and who you want to become, what position you want, and how you wish to contribute meaningfully to the world. And so my suggestion to you as you're navigating through SFBU is to make those connections, network with people, your faculty members. We have small class sizes of 20 people, so you're going to have very meaningful connections with your faculty members here at San Francisco Bay University. And on top of that, our career services is top notch. They're going to give you personalized and individual insights into how they can best support you throughout your education at San Francisco Bay University to set you up for both occupational and financial success after you graduate with the career that you have in mind for yourself. Just a little bit of additional information for you. About 59% of those graduates do wind up securing employment in California. Again, we love the Silicon Valley, and a lot of our students here do as well. So they like to keep local after graduating. And these are just some selected employers that you are probably well aware of: Tesla, TikTok, Meta, Google, Amazon, just big name companies that attract so many individuals that lots of our applicants will look for, and some wind up finding their positions with these respective employers. Some titles that kind of resonate with a lot of students because we're big on tech, we're big on business. So software engineer, software developer, business analyst, operations manager, accountant, all those positions resonate highly with our students. Nevertheless, if tech and business specifically is not the industry that you may be looking for, there's other industries that applicants do wind up finding careers in, whether it be retail and consumer goods, education, finance. Some students even find themselves in law and public services. All that to say, even though we're very big on tech and business, we want our students to just follow whatever it is that they're passionate by and be successful in whatever career it is that they're aspiring to get into after graduation. And we're going to be here every step of the way. All right, so we are actually approaching the end of our session today. Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm very curious to kind of get a little bit insights into what's an exciting new fact that you learned about San Francisco Bay University. So go ahead and feel free to scan the QR code here at the bottom left and kind of just let us know what's something interesting or exciting that you didn't know before or excited to learn about us at San Francisco Bay University. I'll go ahead and take a second and just let you guys put your answers. Dr. Lisa, would you be able to share in real time again?
Yes, thank you. So while I'm switching over to our interactive results, definitely great points earlier on our return on investment or return on impact of your studies with our opportunities and guaranteed internships. And let's see, I'm about to share my screen with your results on what you've learned so far about SFBU. So let's see here. I'll share my screen. Here we are. So we've had individuals who learned.
There we go.
Maybe nobody has answered yet, so.
Oh, we can see the results here. Yep, that a few have learned about affordability, our location, our education.
Now we can see your screen. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. You learned a little bit more about cost today, which is great. Thank you.
You're also more than welcome to input in the chat if you don't feel like scanning the QR code. Just let us know. we're happy to see what you guys are excited by or what something you learned today.
If someone wants to talk, you can also raise your hand and I will be able to allow you to talk.
Go ahead and give it one more minute and then we'll go ahead and shift to the Q&A section. Awesome. I will go ahead and reshare my screen, if that's all right with you, Dr. Lisa.
Yep, please feel free if you learned about curriculum and employment. There we
All
are.
right.
Yep.
So as mentioned earlier, we are wrapping up on today's virtual session on your tuition finances. We appreciate you guys joining us today. And I know you've probably been asking some great questions in the chat and Q&A, but feel free to continue doing so. We have a couple minutes left. So if there's anyone who has any last minute questions that they want to get in, feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat, Q&A. You can scan this code and we can put up your questions on screen. Or if there's no questions, then that's also great as well. But we want to be able to continually support you with whatever questions you may have. So feel free to share. We'll give it a couple minutes for you
MD
to.
Sabir wants to talk.
Yeah.
Now
do
you
it.
can. MD, now you are able to speak.
Okay. Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. I want to know something about the university. When I search about the university in Google, noticeable information came that the graduation rate of that university is noticeably low, like 27%. Is that true?
Thank you for
That's
your
it.
question.
Yeah.
So overall, we have a retention rate that's high between 80 to 90% for our students. So if you have a resource of where that website was or where the statistic was from, glad to connect with your counselor on any concerns you have. But just as a whole, the retentions across our programs have been the 80 to 90%. And definitely our goal is to get students from orientation to graduation and ideally graduate students debt free. So glad to confirm if you have any questions on resources or next steps.
No.
Open to if any of our other colleagues would like to add anything as well. Thank you.
There's a question that was in the chat, but I couldn't see exactly who to address it to, about their, need-based aid request. SFBU does not have need-based aid. Unfortunately, we have merit-based, and that's based on your grades that you have when you're coming into the university. However, we do have the links that I mentioned where you can apply for external scholarships, but we do not participate in the federal student aid program, which is actually a great thing because it means you graduate without that debt. You don't have to pay back a loan. Once you graduate, that education is yours to do with as you want. You can go and get a job without the stress of, oh my goodness, I have to get this job because I have to pay this money back. You don't have that with SFBU. You just, you're paying as you go, either in full or on a payment plan. But we offer the internal merit-based, tuition-based scholarships, and then we do have resources where we can direct you to external scholarships.
Yes, thank you, Edie. We also, we included the external scholarship links in the chat. Please feel free, or our counselors can send that to you as well.
Thank you.
We saw one more hand up.
Yeah, Martin.
Please feel free to unmute or to post your question in the chat if you prefer. All right, Martin, let's see. Well,
You're able to talk now.
Yep.
Martin, just unmute yourself and start. Hi, Martin.
Looks like there might be some technical difficulties.
Hi, hi
there we go.
everyone. How are
There we
you?
go. Good. Thank you for joining us today. What kind of questions do you have?
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to ask about my my I-20 because the scholarship is not mentioned on the I-20, and I have received another separate award letter. I don't know if I can combine it for my visa interview.
Yeah, so this is more specifically designated to your finances. If you have any particular questions about I-20 concerns, feel free to reach out to your enrollment counselor specifically, because we do need to treat this on a case-by-case basis. As mentioned previously, though, those award letters are going to be the scholarship advocate for this point forward, because the scholarship on your I-20 form is a tuition designated scholarship. It holds no monetary value until you actually arrive into the United States. So this is something that the university is not looking to implement in the future, and is why we've put together this financial aid award letter with you. But for any other further questions regarding this, please feel free to reach out to your enrollment counselor specifically so we can work with your specific needs.
Yes, thank you. And another important point related to financials, please bring your financial documents with that award letter as well. That is a key piece of the process for many of our students. So that indicates the 40K or the minimum amount that you have either sponsored or from your funds will match and be available on your I-20. That is a piece that the officers will look for. And so related to financials, that is one of the most important pieces. We have seen students with approved visas with the award letters. So that's definitely important as well. And we had a question in the chat about if your visa appointment is later, does that impact your admission or scholarship? It does not impact your scholarship, your admission. It can still carry over. You're welcome to defer if your appointment does fall outside of the time frame of the fall or the original term you applied. Please feel free to contact your counselor. And then lastly, one other note on resources. So we do have some emergency-based funding as well. So if students are, say they had 75% scholarship one term and they need an extra 25%, please feel free to explore the external scholarships. While a student is here, we do have some process to apply for emergencies, but as a whole, especially if you're an international student, the funds that you've indicated in your sponsorship and financial documents will be the ones to help cover that gap for your scholarship and your cost.
I think Edie unmuted. Edie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanted to talk very briefly about the emergency fund. It is for emergencies, and it does not cover scholarship. I mean, does not cover tuition. So be very careful when looking at the student emergency fund, because it is on the website, but it does not cover scholarship. It is for a true emergency. So if you want to discuss that further, of course, you can make an appointment with me. But yeah, it is for emergencies.
Thank you so much for clarifying that, Edie. I'll go ahead and wrap things up here because we have just a few minutes. I want to throw in these application deadlines because we are still processing for fall 2025. However, that application deadline is coming up. June 1st is going to be that hard deadline that we're looking for. So whether you're domestic, international, transfer student, June 1st is going to be that deadline. So please, if you're working on it, get in contact with your enrollment counselor so we can best assist you in the next couple days so we can make sure you get your application in time. We will also be taking applications for spring 2026. If you're looking to join us a little bit later, you still need a little bit of time to get your documents in order and check. Those are the application deadlines, and you're more than welcome to find these on our university's website as well for future context. As we wrap up here, I just want to thank you all for joining us. I know some of you are joining us from early in the morning or maybe late in the evening, but we truly do appreciate you taking the time to hear us, help us navigate you throughout your educational journey from a financial perspective. We also want to share with you a couple of upcoming events that will be taking place in the upcoming months. So we have a virtual admitted students day for all of you who have been admitted Saturday, July 12th from 10 to 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We will also, for you domestic folks out there, be having an on-campus admitted student day that will be taking place Tuesday, August 12th from 10 to 12. I know those dates are a little bit of ways away, but feel free to include them in your calendar now, just so you don't forget. There will be communications following, reminding you of these upcoming events, but why not put it on your calendar now, just so you don't forget. You're more than welcome to scan that QR code as well, just so you can get a better perspective of that. And last but not least, we are going to be continually doing these virtual sessions. We've hosted a couple already, but we have plenty of more in the works. I'll just go ahead and highlight them very briefly. We've got a housing application, TB test registration next Tuesday. If you have any questions regarding any of these, I would highly recommend registering. CPT, OPT, on-campus housing, June 6th. I know that's going to be a very popular one, particularly for our international folks, so I'd recommend that one as well. This is one I'm very excited by, Business and Engineering School Info Session. So if you have any questions, particularly to the program in which you're interested in, we're going to have faculty members, chairmen joining us, and they're going to be valuable resources in getting clear insights into navigating your educational journey, whether you're pursuing computer science, engineering, business, you name it. They're going to be there to help answer any questions you have. Have a meet and greet with faculty and classmates June 28th. Building Bayhawk Book Club, July 11th. And for anyone who's got parents who are even interested in learning a little bit more about what we do here at San Francisco Bay University and how we're supporting you in your journey, Parents and Family Session, let your parents know July 19th to register for this event. And then if Dr. Lisa or anyone wants to include links for how you can get together with your upcoming classmates, we have links for Facebook groups for fall 2025. We have a Parents and Family Facebook group. We have a WhatsApp group for parents and families. If anyone just wants to get connected with your fellow classmates for your incoming class, please feel free to join there. And with that being said, I know we're probably going to have some last questions being answered in chat. I really just want to thank you again one last time. I know everyone in the panel here is grateful for you to have joined us. And if anyone wants to share any last thoughts, please feel free to do so.
Just want to thank everyone to join us. I know it's early morning in your country, and I just want to share that we are here to support you. We want to give you the most updated information and clear communication because you deserve it. And I just want to thank all the enrollment teams and Eddie for staying and for participating in this event. Thank you so much, Quincy, and hope you all have a great weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for joining us. Oh, any last minute questions or comments?
Thank you for your time today. All of our questions and all your links are in the chat as well for resources.
Thank you for attending, everybody. I know you have to make time, so thank you for making time for SFBU. We do want to support you, and we appreciate you logging on. Thank you.
All right. With all that being said, thank you guys for joining us, and we will hopefully see you in the next upcoming virtual session on Tuesday. You guys take care now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you.